Hello and welcome to This Week in Bitcoin. We're very close away, less than a week from a potential announcement of a US Bitcoin reserve. And we're going to take a closer look today at what the opportunities are and what else happened this week in Bitcoin. First off, as I said, the inauguration of the new Trump administration will take place on Monday, the 20th of January at 12 p.m. Washington time. I think that's like 6 p.m. in Europe. And on the agenda, it says that Bitcoin will be a main talking point of that new administration. We now also see the impact this may have in the mainstream media. At the forefront, there is the New York Times that is reporting about this. And there are a few ways of how the US and the Trump admin can actually get this done. First off, they can take the confiscated coins they have from Silk Road and other concurrences. With Silk Road, there are still a debate if 70,000 Bitcoin will be sold out of that pile. But nevertheless, if they actually convert that, they will have a starting base of then getting to their 1 million Bitcoin goal in 5 years. They also have the opportunity to sell gold reserves, convert that into Bitcoin, or even use some of the interest they gain on their debt and stuff like the T-bills to further buy Bitcoin. Such a push forward would also drive the industry, specifically the Bitcoin industry in the US, and would make America a key focus of that interest. And that's actually one of the main talking points and one of the main agendas the Trump administration also has. Currently, there is not a lot to do for us than wait and see what will happen. And we also potentially have to wait for the first 100 days in office, because these are always the most eventful and most changeable times of a new administration. However, it remains very, very interesting to see how that stockpile will eventually grow and what role Bitcoin will take in the US political landscape. The second news is that Intesa Sanpaolo, one of the major and biggest banks in Italy, announced a Bitcoin native purchase, so real Bitcoin, not the ETFs or anything, of 1 million euro for their bank. They didn't specify what the reasoning and the strategy behind it is. They just approved the purchase and said, yes, this is true. This is not fake news or anything. And it sort of gets the ball a bit going. We don't know if it's because of the potential reserve in the US that banks are not taking a closer look. Bitcoin has been the best performing asset in the last decade measured in fiat, whether that had an impact, or if the bank just realized we can be the first domino to fall in the financial sector in Italy and sort of be a pioneer there to show other banks and other financial institutions that that is a solid strategy to take. And last but not least, we also have to talk about Mark Zuckerberg and Meta, because last week there was actually a shareholder proposal brought forward that they should consider some of their treasury to be converted into Bitcoin. And with Zuckerberg and Bitcoin, there are three main talking points that make this very interesting. First off, he has a goat named Bitcoin, and he's been very vocal about Bitcoin in the past. He has roughly between 5 and 6 billion in cash reserves on Meta's balance sheets, whether in T-bills or in other cash investments. And thirdly, he has a majority in voting rights on the board. So if he is really seriously taking this proposal real, and he would actually bring this up during a board meeting, I think he would not see a lot of pushback. And there as well, just like the bank in Italy and potentially the US with the National Reserve, he could be the first domino to fall with the major big tech companies in the FANG to take Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. Just like with the US reserves and the announcement out of Italy, we also have to wait there to see if that is going to then take place eventually, and we will see a Bitcoin purchase. However, it's an interesting thought experiment to see what Zuckerberg will do in the coming month. And with that, we are at the end of this week in Bitcoin. If you have questions, feedback, or just want to say hello, leave a comment below. And if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, please do that also. And I look forward to seeing you next week again.